Wow. Now you said you weren't gonna say too much, but you done laid it out. And that's what it's all about. First off, thank y'all for being in the room. Thank y'all for being those who are online joining us. This is what it's all about. Me and the brothers, we talked about this, being together, being in the room, learning from one another, and I'm grateful for this opportunity as well. I'm going to call up the brothers, and then we'll go through and do some introductions about ourselves. And one thing, make sure you tell how long you've been doing what you do, just so you can get a gauge as far as the wealth of knowledge. I don't know anything. I'm just up here. I get to bring the specialist up. But first, I'll start off with Mr. A.J. Keel. He's with Invest South Fulton. Now, I thought you did a couple other different things, so you're going to break that down for us. But you come on up and just tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and yeah, all right. Now going, Brother Moss, Mr. Robert Moss with Edge Business Advisors. You come on up as well. Yes, he's just like me. We're just going to step on up here. But Brother Keel, if you want to just kind of kick us off and tell us about yourself, what you do every day, what you do in the community as well, how long you've been doing it, and just one. I say also one fun fact about yourself as well.
Okay, all right.
It's a couple right away.
It's a couple right away. First of all, testing. Testing. Well, you guys can hear me anyways, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. I'm AJ. I'm an ambassador for Invest South Fulton, which is a nonprofit organization that's built to build an ecosystem for local businesses in South Fulton to thrive. In addition to that, I have the pleasure of serving about 20 or so odd years in the financial sector, where I've had several roles that's ranging from technical developer, security, all the way to data governance and architecture. Now, my role in the community is just to be an advocate for building a powerful ecosystem where small businesses can do business with each other. And in any capacity that I can serve, I'm there because I strongly believe in community first, and especially our community first. So with that being said, a fun fact about me is I have a weird sense of humor. And depending on who you are, you may think it's weird or not. But most importantly, I do like to unwind, spend time with family and friends, typical, as well as playing a little video game. That's the best way I can unwind.
Okay.
Yep.
Sound good. Sound good. All right. Yep. Thank you for that. All right. And Mr. Robert Moss, Edge Business Advisor. So tell us about yourself and, your business, how long you've been doing it, and how you help the community as well.
All right, yes, my name is Robert Moss. I'm with Edge Business Advisors. I'm a broker with Edge Business Advisors. Many people don't even know what a business broker is. Many people don't. To make it simple, think of me as like a real estate agent, but just for buying and selling businesses. So I help people buy and sell businesses. I help sellers with exit planning. I help buyers find businesses, evaluate the business, write letters of intent, and facilitate the deal all the way through close. I started my entrepreneurship journey in 2024, where I started real estate investing, and that led me to become a business broker because I wanted to buy businesses, so I wanted to know how to do it for myself. So it led me here. Fun fact about myself, I love grilling and playing spades.
All right now. All right.
You feel me?
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, hey, appreciate that. Sounds good. And we're going to continue these introductions. Yep, you come on. Come on, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you. Mr. Chris Stubbs here. This is our third panelist. He's been out helping the community, helping folks, and just came straight on in. So, Chris, we're just doing some introductions right now. And tell us, about yourself, how long you've been doing it, and just a fun fact about yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay. Again, Chris Stubbs. I've been in the business for over 35 years, a lot in banking. Just recently transitioned to Modern Whitman, more about business ownership with the financial expertise around retirement planning. So really excited about that. Fun fact, I just started cycling.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You got some good weather for that today too. So yeah, we're good. All right. Good deal. All right. Well, last but not least, Kathy said a little bit about me, but I'm Vincent Kane. So I'm a workplace banking and financial empowerment leader. I don't know what that title means. I just get out and talk to people. But no, I teach financial education in the community, whether it be personal, small business. I work with churches, nonprofits. I work with small business owners, and I just love to get out and connect. I've been in banking for 22 years. Look, it took me 3 times to get out of accounting in college, y'all. I went to Morehouse, and I've been working with the numbers for 22 years. I didn't even think about that. But what I love to do is connect. So when I learn of business owners, I learn of what you do, I'm listening, and I most likely know somebody that might be in the city or on the other side of the city that's trying to do the same thing. My goal is to connect the two so that you can impact everybody in between. And I think that's my way of helping to build our community. Being with the chamber and all that we do, all that Kathy's done, all that you all are doing just by being here and tuning in, this is what it's all about. So hopefully you take a nugget of information from what we talk about today, and you can take that and share that with somebody that maybe was trying to get here or maybe that can be looking for it. And as we talk about nuggets of information, we have questions that we've kind of exchanged amongst each other. But if there's a light bulb that you have, something, as you heard what they do and going to hear more about it as we speak, definitely interrupt, raise your hand. Dr. Lisa, I don't know if anybody watching, if they're able to ask a question, do we have anything said? They got a chat? Yeah, definitely. Interrupt, because it's all about having the dialogue and the conversation. And fun fact about me, I too enjoy grilling. I love to eat, and I was just asking my wife the other day, like, what we doing Saturday afternoon? Like, okay, I'm thinking about a brisket already. Whoa. I'm thinking about a brisket already, getting it on the grill and smoking it for a little while and serving it on Sunday, because you can't do it all on the same day. So definitely excited about this opportunity, and I'm gonna jump right in with some of the questions that we have. And Brother Stubbs, I'm gonna start with you. And what you do with your clients, what you've done. I met you in your previous role, so I know how you work with clients, the attention that you bring, the knowledge that you bring, definitely on the personal and the business side. Right now, you focus a little bit more into the retirement and those things that we may have on our mind right now and may need to think more about, because we can put some things in place while we're running, such that when we do to get to that stage, we're more prepared for it. So what's the first step that we should take if we're just starting a retirement plan?
Yes, good question. Number one, mentally. I think you start with yourself, get your mind right. There's a lot of stuff that's going on when you hear retirement, right? I think about my grandparents, and if they were living today, they would be 100+ years old. That traditional retirement that they had, maybe just from Social Security, living on the farm, that's probably not existent for the most part now. Then you kind of look at maybe, how do I maybe work, if you're a teacher or work for the government, that retirement, hey, I'm retiring at 55, maybe I'm making a little bit more retiring now. That may not exist for everyone, right? So then you may have someone that's in a career. Maybe that career is not existent anymore. So what does that look like if you're planning for retirement? So it definitely looks differently, right? And the one thing I would say, it should be an exciting time, number one. That's why I say start mentally, because it could be a chance to not be, I'm going to retire, sit at home and kind of live 10 or 15 more years, maybe have 30 more years, right? And you're starting something new, adventurous. So it should be, I take it as an exciting time. So really start from a mental standpoint and thinking about how do you want to recline your retirement, right? Maybe it should be real estate. Maybe it's from stocks. Maybe it's from savings. Maybe it's Social Security. So those are some things you want to think about, right? And start the conversation with. Only you kind of know that piece, and also thinking about debt. right? How much debt are you going to be carrying in retirement? Because that's a big part as well, right? So maybe you want to reduce down the debt, right? And you don't need as much income in retirement. Two big things you want to think about. Two things that can take your money away real quickly in this country: medical bills and legal fees. So if you're planning a divorce or thinking, like, this may not work or whatever, that's something that's really huge that can really change the dynamics in retirement. You know, a lot of different things. Health issues, right? So if you have health issues, what does that look like, right? Because that could be really, really huge. So maybe it's a chance to, hey, how do you reduce those things from, you know, following the doctor orders, what all that stuff looks like. So there's a lot of dynamics to think about retirement. And also, when you do retire, do you want to travel? What does that look like? How much travel, right? I know, I never forget my dad, when he retired from the fire department, he's going to do all this travel, did 6 months of travel. 6 months of travel, and that was it.
Wow.
So then, what is your purpose, right? Because he felt lost. He had worked all those years, did his 6 months of travel, so then mentally he felt lost. So now you need to think about, what is your purpose? What that next step should be like. So there's a lot of things to continue, and there's definitely a lot of layers when you're thinking about retirement.
You know, and I'll follow that up, because we're gonna go into business, and then we're gonna go into how we help our businesses as well. But along those same lines of what you talked about, as a business owner, you've had your business for years and years, and you're thinking about retirement. What's the first thing that you should think about as a business owner? What to do with your business, you know, moving forward. And if you're really trying to retire, you want your business to still, you know, help take care of you, but someone else is running your business at that point. So what are some things to think about as a business owner in retirement?
I would say succession planning, right?
Yeah.
What do you want that to look like? And that's a whole different level of dynamics with succession planning, right? So do you want to still have part ownership in the business, or are you completely selling the business? So that's when you may be getting in, you know, your attorneys, a lot of different dynamics involved in that. So, but yeah.
Awesome.
What's the value of your business, right? You're getting a valuation of your business. What you're going to sell it for.
Okay. Oh, key word. Selling your business. You know where we're going. All right. So, and you know, I was going to ask, because you kind of touched on it. I work with a lot of small businesses, teaching how to form small businesses, but I haven't even worked much in terms of someone who wants to sell their business or who's looking to buy a business. Just tell us about that mindset. And, you know, maybe someone kind of like what Brother Stubbs just talked about. They're thinking about retirement. They may be thinking to sell their business. Then they come to you to talk about that. But when you talk about buying and selling businesses, I'm thinking somebody's just kind of looking like, boom, I'm gonna buy y'all. You know, kind of go from there. What's up with that? Yeah.
All right, so great question. So if you're thinking about retiring, you want to speak with a business broker a couple years before you plan on retiring, because you want your financials and your management team and everything like that to be in order, and you want to have a track record of that.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about retiring, you want at least 2 years of good financials, record keeping, and things like that, so that when you come to the broker, we can maximize the amount of money that we can get for the business, because you've reported all of that income on your taxes. You're not spending business funds on personal, you know, because your business valuation is based on the cash flow of your business, and if you're not reporting that cash flow, we can't get the amount of money that you want for it.
That is huge, y'all. Talking about the cash flow of our business, reporting it accurately. You know, we're talking about selling our business. But y'all remember what happened in 19, 20, 21? COVID, all of our businesses were shut down. What were the banks doing? These things called PPP loans.
Yeah.
So with the PPP loans, that's money ready to go out. But I still have nightmares of folks who had their returns written on things like this in pencil. Couldn't do no PPP loans on that. So when you think about where your business is now, even if you're not the greatest with numbers, be with somebody that's great with numbers, so you can have it all documented down, such that when you think about it, you might be trying to just make a transition and open a new business. sell this one? Because I thought about that when I learned more about what you do. So definitely good to meet you, because I'm going to be asking you more questions about that as well. I mean, that's a great resource to have.
Absolutely.
Now, if your business isn't too healthy, you know, if your business has some needs, and Brother AJ, you work with businesses to help make them more healthy. And what are some things that you feel that the community is offering outside of Kathy in the chamber, everybody in here? What are some things that you feel are available for businesses to help get them better? Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. Mic on? Yes, hear me? Just like with everybody else on the panel, it starts with a plan. And most people think that the answer to all businesses is cash, right? However, the best resource that a struggling business could have is one that has a tailored solution. And that solution combines funding, it combines training, mentorship, and technical assistance. So think about when a funded business goes out and partners with a mentor. That mentor can help them to renegotiate existing vendor contracts, right? Or you work with technical assistants, right, to help automate some of your business processes and operations, bookkeeping, scheduling, HR, those things, right? That struggling business then transforms to one that's sustainable and that can survive those tumultuous times that you're talking about, right? So they're no longer struggling month-to-month payments, but they have the tools available to them that will last them a lifetime. So that's what we do in Invest South Fulton, is to work with the business and make sure that not only are they able to sustain,
Sure.
but they have the capital, the assets
Yep.
that allow them to be sold or be acquired by other companies, and then allows for those business owners to then now just really start thinking about retirement and how to really plan for the long haul.
Awesome, awesome. And along those lines, with the businesses that you work with, does it have to be a business that's been in business for some time, or can it be somebody starting out? Say they want to start off on the right foot with the right guidance to move forward.
No, that's even a great question, because that's where a lot of people fail to realize, like, well, I don't have the expertise or what have you. And that's why at Invest South Fulton, we go through and really gauge where that person is, right? Whether they're having a great idea, we work with them from ground up. Whether they're already in business and they just need to figure out how to scale, we work with them at that too. So the short answer is no. You come as you are, and we help you develop.
Come as you are
Come
and
as
help
you
you
are.
develop.
That's why I love community.
Hey, I love it. You heard that? Come as you are. We help you develop. That could be a new chamber thing, you know? We can do
It's
that.
patent now.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, it's old.
It's over.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
No.
what we do.
That's what we do.
Great points. Great points. So, in thinking about how much money, you know, when we think about making that move, whether we're moving towards retirement, or we're moving towards buying a business, or we're moving towards selling our business. And I think you may have touched on this a little bit. You want to make sure everything is in order when you sell it. But I'll start with you, Brother Stubbs. And I call him Brother Stubbs. We're both with the 100 Black Men of South Metro, so he's my 100th brother there. How much money, you know, should you be saving towards your retirement as a business owner?
Again, that depends on what you want your retirement to look like and how much you've accumulated so far. I always, advise my client, you got to start somewhere. Don't be embarrassed. Let's start where you're at and let's build up, because things change over time. Maybe you're going to have cash flow that's going to free up in a couple of years, and then you can contribute more. Some people start out with, I don't know, a couple $100 per month and start building from there. Now, just realize, if you have zero for retirement and you're saving $100 per month, that's not going to get you too far too fast. Depends on your age, right? I'll say that because age is a big factor with retirement. If you're just starting in your 50s and low, that could be a little bit of a challenge, right? We need to relook at some things. Maybe you want to restructure some debt to free up additional cash so you can actually fund more in your retirement. I will say the market has done quite well over the last couple of years. Past performance do not predict future performance. We get that out of the way, but it has done well, and you really can see, you'll be surprised when you start saving over, 5-10 years, what that could turn into. So, but again, it all depends on what you want your retirement to look like.
I think that's key. Starting with saving, and with all of us, we're trying different things, and we may be starting a business. We may have worked with the business. We've moved around a little bit, and you said, you hit your 50s. I'm right around the corner. I cut it all off so you can't really see it, but you hit your 50s, and you really start thinking about, what do I have? What have I done for retirement? That can be scary. That can be scary, and I think partnering with Chris to help talk through that is key. So say I'm coming and I really haven't done anything, and I'm kind of approaching that age. What would you say is a first step?
Yeah, number one, let's start with a budget. Let's see where you're at, right? We got to start with the budget fundamentals. And again, I'm going to actually, because it's all about you, I want to just ask a couple probing questions. What do you want, right? What do you want to look at? And the one thing I always let's take out the guilt, the shame, and all that. What should have done? Let's get all that out of the way. Let's start where you're at, right? Because oftentimes when you hear retirement planning and wealth management, it's only for the ultra wealthy. No, there's different levels. So let's start and meet you where you're at. Yeah.
Awesome. And I love to mention a lot generational wealth. Think about those who are behind you, those that you are saving for now. What are you doing to prepare them for what you have built? Have you educated friends, family, whoever you have coming behind you, such that they know what to do when your business comes to them? Because it's a travesty to have built so much and then somebody gets it and they don't know what to do with it. So definitely things to keep in mind. Now, I've got my business. I may not have a business. I may not have been in business, but just the thought of buying a business, that intrigues me. It sounds interesting. So do I need to have knowledge of the business that I might be thinking about buying? When I hear that, I keep thinking about Shark Tank. I know they're not buying a business like that. They are, taking some ownership in it. But you think about when they make their choices, a lot of the ones that made the best choices are the ones that have experience in that particular industry and so forth. So when it comes to buying a business, I haven't started one. I really have no knowledge of it. What would be my best move if I want to buy a business and see where it goes? This is definitely an investment, I say.
Yes, so experience, no. You don't need experience in the sector of the business that you're trying to buy. Sometimes you may need license or things like that, but experience you don't need. With my brokerage, when we help our buyers buy a business, we structure our deals to where we add a seller note for about 2 or 3 years, about 10 to 20% seller note. And what that does is it keeps the seller around after the sale because they have skin in the game. They'll answer the phone and help coach you through all the problems you have during those 3 years. So experience, you don't have to have it.
I think that's a great point. Kind of like, if you're in a role and you're in a role that requires a lot, and then maybe you get a promotion, you move to another role, what do? We kind of stay connected to whoever's coming into that role to keep feeding them the information that they need. Okay, I like that. That gives some ease when it comes to buying the business. Now, AJ, when it comes to our businesses, you talk about Invest South Fulton, and there are initiatives that are out there that help our businesses, but not just survive. What initiatives do you champion to help them not just survive, but stay engaged with the community? And I throw this with the mortgage side a lot. When we teach how to buy a home for the first time, we also want to teach you how to keep it. So when it comes to having a business and investing in it and building it, what are some things that you feel champion, not just investing in it, but keeping it on the up?
Well, I'll first start by saying true advocacy begins with developing a strong ecosystem where entrepreneurs and small businesses local to South Fulton does business with each other. So imagine a local corporation contracting with a caterer, right? Or even a project manager connecting with a local supplier. That capital stays within our community, right? And it's that multiplier that allows them to thrive and also stay connected. So it's a combination of those things that not only from an individual perspective, but a collective that don't just allow them to skirt by, but thrive and be continuous in their journey.
Connecting with the community, connecting with the business, kind of like what we do here.
That's what we do.
When you think of a need, reach out to this chamber, because there may be something that your business needs that the chamber has for you, and you might help that business who's looking for business as well. So definitely connecting to keep it in the community. Okay, great deal. I'm gonna keep going, y'all, but y'all a little quiet. So any questions so far, light bulbs that you have, or anybody in online land, what are some questions that you may have? I see a hand. There we go. I see a couple of hands. But questions that you have for any of us on stage here, and we go from there. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Mr. Stubbs. Business owner, right? Late in starting retirement, but has a viable business. Do you recommend them getting a SEP? Like, what are the benefits of just starting something for myself versus starting something that can benefit everyone in my business?
That's a good question. SEPs definitely is really good for sole proprietors. It's a good way to start, and also save without paying those extra taxes, right? You're avoiding a lot of taxation. That's a lot. I talk to small business owners about. I'm not an accountant. I always throw that out, but I can speak to some things that maybe you can avoid paying taxes to the government on versus you can give back to yourself in retirement.
Can you break down what a SEP is? What does SEP mean?
Just that, it's kind of like similar to a 401k, where you can contribute up to 3%, get a 3% match per year. Yeah.
I was wondering if it's like, have you seen it as beneficial to businesses that start those plans?
Yeah, I have that continue to contribute on a regular basis. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, good question.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. You had a question.
So my question is, I know you said, the gentleman in the middle said that you don't necessarily have to have experience in whatever business you're going into, but would you recommend them doing some kind of investigations because into that particular business, like doing your homework in terms of this is a business I want to buy, you might not have the expertise in it, but you recommend them kind of looking into it?
Yeah, you want to make sure that it's going to fit your lifestyle and also provide the cash flow that you're looking for. A lot of information can be provided during the due diligence process, where we can actually dig into the financials and the history of the company, where you can talk to the seller and really ask any viable questions that you may have and see if it's a good fit for you. But, like I said, you don't necessarily need to be an expert in that field, but it will help you. It will make the transition a lot smoother.
Great question. And to piggyback on that, where would you go to find money to buy a business? Like, is it, if say the business needed money to expand, and of course they come to Truist for a business loan, where would you go? Just if you didn't have experience in the business that you're buying, and you just come and say, I want to go buy this business. Where do you direct folks?
All right, so great question. So most people don't buy a business with cash. Most people get a loan to buy a business. They get an SBA loan, and SBA will give you 90% of the purchase price of the business. So if you want to go buy a laundromat, say for $500,000, SBA is going to give you 90% of that. So you only need to come to the table with about $50,000.
Wow, got me thinking now. Okay, okay,
And that's usually around a 10-year loan.
okay. So you partner directly with the SBA
Well,
when you do, or you partner
We
with the?
have people that we go to for that, yes.
Gotcha. With Truist.
We have a Truist guy.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just saying. Okay. Great point.
Then on top of that, we're also going to ask for a seller note for about 20%. So you're going to come with even less to the table.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brother AJ, what do you think about that? Now, Invest South Fulton. How would Invest South Fulton step into a negotiation like that in terms of you buying a business because you want to invest in the community as well? So how can Invest South Fulton help with that process?
Well, that'll be a part of that mentorship that we were talking about, where you partner with local experts that kind of help you to look at the budget, right? Your cash flow, making sure that the proper procedures are in place, right? Operations and what have you. And then, we pair with the procuring partner with someone like yourself, a broker, just to kind of make sure that even when you may not know much about the business, the right questions are asked so you're not in a bind. I wish I would have known this. I wish someone would have talked to me about that a little bit more. So that's where another part of our pillar really shines.
Okay.
Is that mentorship part.
I love it. As I hear about mentorship, I think about just obstacles that we might all run into as a business owner. And I think all three, think about a client that you've had that you feel has been probably one of the biggest success stories in terms of an obstacle that you've helped them to overcome. Be on the personal side, maybe someone that just can't say, hey, I want to start thinking about retirement today. And then they retire tomorrow. I mean, I'm not saying that you've done that or whatnot, but so I'll start with you, Brother Stubbs. Think of just your own clients, someone that you've helped and say, you know what, this was a very beautiful story.
Yeah, good question. I had a client, it was a tragedy that happened. Kid committed suicide. It was just a loss, and you can only imagine kind of the setback of that, right, from a mindset standpoint. Just didn't know where to start from to move forward, so I was able to kind of part out the emotions, to really look at the facts, but yet kind of provide the right mental guidance as well. Not a psychologist, but I have, pretty, high intelligence on the emotional side of things. So that was able to kind of help her move forward. And as a result of that, it really put her on track to live a really good life in retirement. But yet still kind of mourning the loss, of course, can always do that. But really just to get through the emotional part, because when you think about when you're facing a major tragedy, a lot of things can go south in your life, and you won't move forward, right? That life happens, but how do you really have those trusted individuals around you that's giving you the objective advice that you need to kind of move forward? So, yeah.
I think that's spot on. Now I'm going to ask with Robert and AJ the same question, but to touch on that, trusted individuals that you keep in your corner. And I think we touched on this when we spoke just a moment ago. A lot of what we do, coming in the room, I'm coming in with my genuine self. I'm not coming in to sell anything. And I'm coming in to hopefully make a connection, to make another connection. And I can just only emphasize even more, keep your circles that you have around you, keep them as trusted individuals, that you help them, they help you. Organizations that they may be connected with, y'all can share the different types of connections. So I think that's huge. And you took your emotional connection kind of in and out of it to really help with the situation of that. So definitely great with that one. Brother Moss, now yours in working with businesses, what would you say is, wow, they came in yesterday with nothing, and then they bought UPS. I'm not going to say that happened either, but just what's a story that you may have and where you really worked with a non-business owner to become a business owner?
Well, I would like to tell a story about a business owner who wanted to sell more than what the business was worth.
Okay.
And I had to educate him on that. So right right now, I'm currently working with a client. He wants to sell his business for $2 million. The business makes a lot in revenue,
Sure.
but he doesn't report all of the earnings, and he spends the business earnings on his personal. So it's lowering his net income on his taxes to where it's showing that the business is only cash flowing $55,000. And I'm explaining to him that
Wow.
SBA isn't going to loan to a new potential buyer $2 million to buy a business that only cash flows on paper $55,000.
Wow.
So we're kind of going back to the drawing board with that, and it was an eye opener for him. So maybe we're going to step back and try to sell the business in another 2 years. Now that he knows the formula on how to get the most out of his business.
That's huge. Yeah. Yeah. You wanna say something on that?
That's great, because now
Yeah.
there's a synergy here, right?
Yeah.
Because even with Invest South Fulton, we talk about those things, right? Understanding what cash flow is, understanding what your operation budget is, understanding how you need to, just operate as a business and grow, right? So having that foresight, right, could have prevented a lot of that letdown, right? In terms of him not knowing, now he's having to, learn the hard way, if you will. So, and that's the beauty about connecting with the
Sure.
community, and like you said, a board of advisors, if you will, right? Kind of keep each other honest and abreast about how they need to progress in the future.
Yeah. I think that's a great point.
That was a great.
The board of advisors.
Yep.
For my business owners out there, do you have a board of advisors? It can be folks that you just go to
Yep.
that are trusted to help you with different things. He pointing like her. Yeah. That's your board of advisors right there. Decision maker. Yeah. No, good deal. Good deal. Brother AJ, about yourself, what is one client that you feel that you've worked with and is just a true story that you wish could tell to help maybe some others learn from, but also it just kind of touched you in the same way?
Yeah. From a touching standpoint, a lot of times people are guarded because they don't know, right? And so they feel ashamed. Because first of all, they don't know which questions to ask, and they're afraid of judgment, right? So a part of what I do is making sure that there is no judgment involved. I look at businesses and just try to understand them from a foundation standpoint. And with that comes a lot of training, looking in their operations, making sure that they have the right staff, if you will, right? Because some people are probably mislocated, working in the back office instead of the front office, et cetera, et cetera. So building out a team that can help support the business mission statement. So one of the clients that I had was just purchased a franchise. They liked the potential of earnings, but they didn't know how to operate it. They thought it was just a turnkey operation. And many times, people are sold that false reality. There is still work that needs to be done, and that they need to also build their operations, build their human resource. And a lot of times, it's not necessarily cash flow that will set you up for success, but it's human capital, right? And a lot of times, that is one of the missing factors that allows for businesses to thrive, serve for retirement. So there's a domino effect.
Wow.
So I was fortunate enough to be early in the journey of the person buying that franchise. So we established a good foundation and set them on their journey.
Awesome. Y'all getting this? Is this some good information, y'all? Okay. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have questions for everyone, actually.
Okay.
Mr. Stubbs, is there a role for physical assets in retirement, like gold, silver?
Yeah, there is, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of gold. Yeah, you can have it in your portfolio, but how quickly can you convert it? Yeah, you can. I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah.
Thank you. And Mr. Moss, is there a particular sector that is more conducive for like the turnkey business, or a business that is someone would be looking to acquire to kind of have and generate more passive income in retirement?
Sure. things like storage units or laundromats.
Mm.
Yeah, those are very popular.
Okay.
And, you know, require very little maintenance, very little owner input.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
And then
Great
for
point.
you, I, sorry, I can't remember your.
AJ.
AJ,
AJ.
thank you.
Mhm.
So why do you think there is a lot of shame around business and investing in money, particularly in our community?
Ooh, that's a powerful question. It really is, because it speaks to the psychology of the individual, right? And a lot of times in our community specifically, we burden so much, right, to where we're the go-to. It depending on your social circle, right? And what I've realized is that most people have that false sense of having to know it all, right? And if they don't know it all, then they're shunned away or they don't have value. So in uncovering that, I really help to enforce the value that that person brings. They're here because they're here. They've gone down a journey. And so let's build them up so that they can be fruitful and multiply, you know. So that's the main reason. It's just that personal value that they're lacking.
Can I hear that question one more time?
I was just asking,
Yes.
yeah, why do you think there's so much shame? Because I've heard that from the three of you. That's kind of like the theme that I've heard is that there's like, you know, not to be ashamed if you haven't put so much aside, or, you know, there's shame around maybe getting into a business situation that you weren't fully aware of all of the kind of risks involved. Why do you think that is?
I don't think it's necessarily shame. I think that people just haven't been educated on it. I always preach to my daughter, my kids, the difference between an asset and a liability. And all through our lives, we're only taught how to work for money and spend it on liabilities, when we should be working for assets that's going to pay us for the rest of our lives. So, you know, it's all about just educating yourself or finding a mentor that will give you the knowledge on how to change your mindset. And that's my take on it.
Yeah, man, it's a very powerful question. Being in the financial industry for a long time, I would see how elder people would tell me their stories. They were so proud to see a young black guy in a bank, you know, and they would just share stories about when they couldn't go to the bank, right? So, and I think some of the myth was passed down from generation to generation, and then individuals being in those seats did not do their due diligence the right way, and so they made the individuals feel less than. I saw that a lot, and I had to come back around and make individuals feel whole. So I think a lot of it is not putting color on it. It could be both ways. It was just, if you didn't have a certain dollar amount, hey, you don't even belong in my seat. And that's reality. I saw that happen a lot.
Yeah, that value.
Matter of fact, there's certain dollar limits. Well, if you don't have $250, I can't even talk to you. So
That's one thing that I'm sorry that kind of frustrates me, because when I'm working with the community, I don't care how much money you have, and the key partners that are right here they don't care about how much money you have, but I know what they can do. I know their expertise and the power that they bring to help your business, and I think that that's the value that I bring to business owners, because there's too many times that goes right back to walking in a room with the sale in mind. Well, at the same time, you're sitting at your desk only expecting a certain amount to sit in front of you. And it's unfortunate that is out there. And my goal is to partner with the folks that I see do not do that, and they're truly themselves, and they truly offer their gifts to the individuals that are coming in as well. So I thank you for touching on that. You saw my cringe right here. I was like, oh man, like,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, but it is real and unfortunate in a lot of businesses where we go, and that just makes us think about, you know, our own business, what our goals are. There are a lot of times when we put all our all in all into helping the community and helping the business community. I'm bad at, you know, I have goals that I've been given at the bank, but my boss gets on me because I just go out there and let the Lord take care of everything else. Like you can't put that in a spreadsheet, but I'm having a report though.
That's right.
But no, that is key right there. So think about your business. Think about the circle that you have around you as well. Okay, great point. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So in terms of resources and education, and as all of you all said, it can be a cultural thing. So when we think about our parents and our grandparents, we know that, yeah, some people saved, and then once you get older, as the children getting older, did your parents ever teach you, I mean, because I know some kids don't know anything about checkbook or how to keep anything. And then when you think about college, they get to college, and they're automatically sent a credit card, and they have no direction on what to do and how to do. So by the time they're 25 years old or 30, they're in serious debt and don't know how to get out and don't know. So in terms of educational resources, what do you guys recommend when your customers come in and they're in that situation where, for example, they're ready to retire? You know, or what kind of message should they be passing on?
Well, I take it as a personal goal of mine to do the education. That's why I'm in this for the passion. And it starts with each one teach one, right? Community. That's if you don't realize that's my thing, right? This is about community. So once I realize that deficit exists, then I either provide them with supplemental information or I connect them with another trusted advisor of my circle that can take it forward, that may do a better job in explaining the basics or the intermediary areas of finance in general, right? So, and to sum it up, I think it's a personal accountability, right, that starts to fill that gap. And with Invest South Fulton, we have that mentorship to kind of help you find out, what's the best pathway for you.
I can say, call me. I speak in high schools, middle schools, and different, and you can't go into a high school talking about things that you would talk about, in to just all small business owners. You have to think about what you're delivering. But I speak directly to that. We start with a simulation around money life choices where we give them a job, a living situation, we give them a salary, and we give them that first deposit, and they have 40 minutes to go and not spend all their money buying their house, their car, their insurance, feeding if they have any kids in there, until I pull the housing banner off and say, you know what, the housing market's crashed, so if you haven't chose a house and you're sleeping in your car. I put a little nervousness into them, but we teach them life skills like that because, at the same time, this is something that's not taught in schools. And as a parent, I think about my own boys. And I remember sitting them down and going over what a checkbook looked like. Of course, now you give them a check, they're taking a picture of it, and then they're tearing it up. So we got a lot of technology that's out there now, but sticking with the basics and as a parent, as a family member, auntie, if you got grands, just being the one to share the knowledge that you have and some of the experience that you've seen over the years, because they're going to take that and continue to be fed at the same time. So great point there.
I would add on as well, Vince and I, we're part of the 100. So specifically with young men, we actually mentor at least twice per month from financial literacy, from very from checking savings on up to more complex things. So we've definitely seen the impact there, and also from a personal standpoint, right? If I can really understand somebody just want to understand a budget, right? There's so many resources out there from a simplistic standpoint. We can walk through that, right? And again, approaching it the right way, not assuming, you don't know what a budget is. No, meet you where you're at.
Yeah, meet you where you're at. Great point. Yes, ma'am.
I want to thank all of you for being here. Really, I greatly appreciated all the helpful information. This question is for Mr. Moss. So if a business owner is wanting to invest in a franchise, what are some of the benefits of them consulting with a broker versus going directly to their franchise department?
That's a tough question there. I don't know the answer to that one, to be honest with you. That's a tough question. Yeah.
I can speak a little bit
Yeah.
about it. So not all franchises are created equal. Some franchises are just in for the profit, right? So even if you were to go and speak to that franchise department, the information is biased. So that's why the importance of mentorship and being a part of a trusted advisor committee can give you an extra different perspective on it. And that's the added benefit, because that person that you're talking to has no vested interest other than yourself, right? Making sure that you're covered, making sure that you're protected in terms of being able to read the contract, highlighting certain areas that may not be in your best interest. So those are small but huge benefits that you will realize in consulting.
I will say that we don't necessarily help people buy into a new franchise. We help people buy a cash flowing business. So if a person already has the franchise and they want to sell you their franchise, then we can help you with that. We can help you with the valuation of the cash flow, make sure you're not overpaying for the business. We'll help you with your letter of intent. We'll structure your deal. We'll help you through due diligence and close. But the franchise won't help you with all that.
Now, does new franchise mean they're just starting out and branching out as far as franchising? Or I know, would y'all just do a ribbon cutting down off a Cascade UPS store? And how they operate, it's a lot of their kind of owner-operated type of stance. So say it's an organization that they do nothing but set up different owner-operated franchise locations. Chick-fil-A, is a good one for example. Do you help folks in that direction?
No.
Okay,
We only
gotcha.
help with a business that's already cash
Gotcha. You gotta have money flowing, and you make it happen. Okay, great point. Any questions? Any other questions, y'all? Okay.
Just on the fellas.
Yes, ma'am.
Talked about change.
Mm.
One of the things that I've come to understand is insurance. We don't really talk about it a lot, and especially when young people don't think they even need it. And then even with us, we have insurance is anything. We're very big on making sure that we're buried. We don't really make sure that we're in a situation where we're being taken care of if we fall ill or if something happens to us. And just having that in our business to make sure that those are things that we're being covered with is something that I feel that's important. And I'm sure the Chamber does and takes care of that. But classes, things that help people understand the importance of insurance and what insurance can do for them and their business. So.
That is a great point. If I can speak to, do you sell insurance? That is a great point that you bring up, though.
The reason why the point is brought up is because I've had that experience of not having it, and my people and my husband didn't believe in it.
Sure.
As far as you pay insurance, you're paying for something you're not going to get. You're just giving money away.
Sure.
But in essence, really, it's because we really don't have the understanding or the education of what insurance can do for us. And so by not having that in place, when a situation arose with his situation, it wasn't there. And so it hurt us in the long run because as he passed and I went on and we didn't have what we needed because we just always thought we were going to be there. And so to me, it's just important to make sure that these things kind of run hand in hand with the money, with the retirement, with the business structure, that they understand that this goes hand in hand. Insurance goes hand in hand with every move that you make with your business, personally with you as a person, and wealth building.
That's great, because another part of business is family business, right? You're talking about family business, right? Making sure that after relatives have passed, the business of the family still survives. That's a great point in terms of how we can collectively do better, right? Because a lot of times we don't like to talk about death or transitioning, right? And that's where, when you're talking about living for today and having a business and thriving and being successful and whatever else you want to do in life, that's one of those unspoken areas that, unfortunately is not touched upon enough, right? So yeah, definitely insurance needs to be a part of that whole wealth package.
Well said. I will say insurance is one of the products out there. If you die, you don't have to pay taxes on it. You do not have to pay taxes on insurance.
And people don't know that.
You don't have to
That's
pay taxes
huge.
on insurance. And also, you don't have to die to use it. You right? You can have the cash values built up in whole life. Or if you do have, like, let's say, a term policy, and if you become terminally ill, you can pull from the death benefits to cover terminally ill things that you may have out there. So you don't have to die just to be. A lot of people, I don't want to leave it. Somebody. Well, that's a great wealth building process. You look at a lot of the banks, how they were built. They had insurance on slaves. Call it out there like it was. That's how this country has been going forward with insurance. It is a big, big deal, right? So, good point.
But there's a point to that, because some people that I do talk to, when I start to have those insurance conversations to help them see a holistic picture of their wealth, they have the shame of starting too late, right? It's like, well, there's no way that I, can get $1 million policy, for an example, to sustain my lifestyle or my family's lifestyle. So that's one of the challenges that I personally have faced when trying to influence others to really take insurance seriously. Maybe I can, pick you guys' brain on how we can fill that gap. Yeah.
As a licensed insurance broker,
There we go. There we go. We teed it up for you. I knew it.
I have to thank the lady who mentioned that. She
Yes.
is absolutely accurate. And if we can all assess what we have right now, we all have insurance on something, even your cell phone.
Yeah.
So you need to have insurance on yourselves. And as Mr. Stubbs was mentioning, we have living benefits. So if life happens to all of us, so the unexpected can happen. Doesn't matter your age anymore. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're experiencing that, you can pull from that insurance and live a little bit more comfortably. You're still here with living benefits.
And I would say don't confuse that with group insurance at your
No,
job,
not the
right?
same.
Unless you plan on dying
Key.
at your job. Once
Good.
you leave that job, that ends.
Yeah.
It ends
That is-
right then. And then if you're older, applying for insurance, it's going to be more costly because there's mortality expenses in there. Because at some point when you start hitting over 50, 60, maybe something, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. It's best to get it when you're younger. It's cheaper, a lot cheaper when you're younger.
Well, and to
Dang.
piggyback on what AJ was mentioning, every big business, you sign insurance when you first enrolled in your onboarding. And if you're not getting a policy, that's benefiting the company if something happens to you, FYI. You get a certificate. You don't get a policy.
That's
The
true.
company
That's
gets
true.
it. So if you think of big box stores, they have millions of employees. Something happens on the job, it happens all the time. They're getting a settlement off of that person. Okay, they can offer to give something to the family, but it's not guaranteed. It's their choice. It's their policy. Just FYI.
Can you come up? I mean, that's just we can keep going. Yeah, we can make that. Yeah, that's huge. Because I'm sitting here like, woo. I mean, that's amazing. I we're talking about insurance personally, business as well. When you start your business, I preach all the time. A lot of times when we go start our business, we get insurance in a box for our business. Do you really know what's covered? Do you really know what's protecting you as a business owner and protecting your business and your family when you're not there? So the big box store, I mean, that's interesting to think about. They're making money off you if something were to happen. Ooh. I know we got to start wrapping it up. They're about to pull me off.
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
I was just
You
gonna
good.
Comment of what I've heard in kind of a philosophy. If you say you can't afford to get insurance, you can't afford not to get insurance.
Exactly. Ooh. Yep. Amazing. Wow. Yeah, we done got another whole. I like that. Okay. So stay tuned for a part 2. And it's going to be all of us on stage. But again, as we bring this dialogue on stage to a close, don't let the dialogues stop that are happening in this room. online and everywhere that you go, because it's about uncovering the knowledge and the information. So I thank you, fellas, for joining us today. Yes. Yes, thank you, Madam Kathy, Madam President, Dr. Lisa, for thinking about this. Y'all, I've been working with them for years, and I tell you, they put some things together. That's why I don't mind breaking my hand to put this stage up. Yeah, I do it because y'all do some great things. And thank you all for coming out today to the chamber. And you know, when we do this again, bring somebody. We got some gaps in these seats. Let's fill these seats. Let's get some more. I'll go get some more seats, y'all. I'll bring them. But let's make that happen. Let's
He's
make
the
that
one
happen.
responsible for these seats. Thank you,
Hey, I love it. But no, thank y'all for this opportunity, and I think you got some goodies and something to munch on outside the door. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna close this thing on out. Thank you guys so much. Y'all were awesome.
Hey.
Awesome.
Y'all.
So, but we also want to give a great shout out to Intermix Radio, who's here, who's recording us today. Thank you guys.
All right.
They are our partners for our studio, so we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of great things going on here. So we got some things for all of y'all to do before you leave today. Please and thank you.
All
And,
right.
so we're done.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all again.